it's Rajabova Dildora. I'm an English teacher at Bukhara State University. Today I'm going to explain you one of the grammar themes, deductive and inductive way of teaching grammar. I think everybody knows what is deductive and inductive way of teaching grammar. You can learn any grammar rule in deductive way from general to specific way, and inductive approach is from specific to general. So why use deductive approach? First of all, it can meet student expectations. For many learners, the inductive approach is very new and somewhat radical, and it doesn't fit in with their previous learning experiences. It may be easier. A class using the deductive approach, if well planned, goes from easier to more difficult, which may be more appropriate for some learners. It can also be easier for less experienced teachers as there is more control of outcomes. In deductive approach, we can control our learners' understanding of rules more, making sure that the ideas they form about language are the right ones. In this way, we can try to avoid learners forming incorrect hypotheses. It may be a more efficient use of time. The inductive approach can take longer. We can control the level of input language more in deductive approach. It may be a more efficient use of time. The inductive approach can take longer. So it can be designed to meet the needs of more learning styles. The demands of the inductive approach make it more suitable for a specific kind of learner. It is used by many course books and it fits in better with many syllabus structures. Why use inductive method? Now, let's turn to inductive method. First of all, it moves the focus away from rules to use, from specific to general, and use is, after all, our aims in teaching. It encourages learner autonomy. If learners can find out rules for themselves, then they are making significant steps towards being independent. We can take this further by letting learners decide what aspects of the language in a text they want to analyze. It teaches a very important skill, how to use real, almost real language to find out the rules about English. Next, it can be particularly effective with low-level students and with certain types of young learners. It enables these students to focus on use, not complex rules and terminology. If we use authentic material as our context, then learners are in contact with real language, not coursebook English. We can exploit authentic material from a wide range of sources to present our target language. The rules and structures students discover are often more valid. You know, in deductive approach, first of all, you give the rule, first of all, you give formula, then they will do some activities and exercises. In inductive approach, first of all, the students do activities and exercises, and at the end, they can make formulas and some rules. So that's why they can be more valid, relevant, and authentic than in a deductive approach, as they can be drawn from real use of English. The action of discovery helps learners remember. They can easily remember all the activities, all the formulas and rules because they have made it, they have created themselves. It reflects the acquisition process that children learn by being in contact with the language and using it, then finding rules and applying them to new contexts. This kind of task and the independence it fosters is stimulating and motivating for many learners. This approach naturally encourages more communication, as learners need to discuss language together in group works, for example. We are able to respond better to the needs of our learners For example, we can clearly see and address problems with understanding of a certain rule or item of lexis as learners go through the process of identifying and analyzing it. We can support and encourage new learning styles and strategies in inductive approach. For example, this kind of approach is good to develop reflective learning and learning in groups and encourage the strategy of using the English around us to find rules and examples. Now, inductive research approach. The inductive approach consists of three stages. The first one is observation. Now, there are three examples. The first one is, first of all, in inductive approach, you will observe in the first stage. For example, you observe a low-cost airline flight is delayed. One low-cost airline flight is delayed. Next, dogs A and B have fleas. Next, the third example. Elephants depend on water to exist. So you have observed them. Now, the second stage is observe a pattern. Now, specifically, another 20 flights from low-cost airlines are delayed. In the first stage observation, you have analyzed only one airline flight. Now, in a pattern, in a specific form, another 20 flights from low-cost airlines are delayed. Next, all observed dogs have fleas. And the last one, all observed animals depend on water to exist. And the third stage is develop a theory. Now you have developed your own theory in inductive approach. Low-cost airlines always have delay. This is your assumption. You have come to this conclusion after observation, after observing a pattern, that all low-cost airlines always have delays. The second example, all dogs have fleas. And the third example, all biological life depends on water to exist. Now in a table it's written here. First of all, you should gaze data. Then specific level of focus, you should focus on specific levels. Then you should look for patterns, you should analyze, and on the third stage, you develop your own theory. Now, example, this is for you, dear students. The first one is, all dogs are mammals. All mammals have hearts. All dogs must have hearts. So what is this? Inductive approach or deductive approach? Next, after I ate strawberries, my lips swelled. This is the first time. After I ate strawberries, my lips swelled. Second time, after I ate strawberries, my lips swelled again. Next, the third time, after I ate strawberries, my lips swelled. This is the third time. Now, I will give you some additional information. Swollen lips after eating strawberries may be a sign of an allergy. Then you come to a conclusion. Likely, I am allergic to strawberries. So what is this? Is it deductive approach or inductive approach? Next, all birds can fly. An ostrich is a bird. All ostriches can fly. We have seen 30 white swans. Therefore, all swans are white. Basketball players are tall. John is a basketball player. So, in the fifth example, basketball players are tall. So, this is general sentence statement, yes? John is a basketball player. This is specific statement. John must be tall. So, what is this? Cacti are plants, and all plants perform photosynthesis. Therefore, cacti perform photosynthesis. The first lipstick I pulled from my bag is red. The second lipstick I pulled from my bag is red. So they are specific statements. Therefore, all the lipsticks in my bag are red. My mother is Irish. She has blonde hair. Therefore, everyone from Ireland has blonde hair. Most of our snowstorms come from the north. It's starting to snow. This snowstorm must be coming from the north. All of our snowstorms come from the north. So this is general statement, yes. It's starting to snow, therefore the storm is coming from the north. Now, dear students, there can be also invalid deductive reasoning. When it comes to deductive reasoning, you can generalize. In these cases, even with two solid and true premises, deductive reasoning goes wrong. Here are a few examples of just that. All Svens are white. Jane is white. Therefore, Jane is a Sven. Dear students, this is invalid deductive example. All farmers like burgers. Jethro likes chicken wings. Therefore, Jethro is not a farmer. We cannot come to conclusion that if Jethro doesn't like burger, he cannot be a farmer. Or if Jane is white, so she cannot be a Sven because she is a person. Yes? All actors are handsome. Tom Cruise is handsome. Therefore, Tom Cruise is an actor. So Tom Cruise cannot be an actor because he is handsome. In each of these examples, the premises may will be true, but the conclusions make invalid assumptions. Now, in conclusion, I would like to say that the learner-centered nature of inductive teaching is often seen as advantages as the learner is more active in the learning process rather than being a passive recipient. This increased engagement may help the learner to develop deeper understanding and help fix the language being learned. This could also promote the strategy of noticing in the student and enhance learner autonomy and motivation. On the other hand, inductive learning can be more time and energy consuming and more demanding of the teacher and the learner. It is also possible that during the process, the learner may arrive at an incorrect inference or produce an incorrect or incomplete rule. Also, an inductive approach may frustrate learners whose personal learning style and or past learning experience is more in line with being taught via a more teacher-centered and deductive approach. Nevertheless, while there are pros and cons to both approaches, and while a combination of both inductive and deductive grammar teaching and learning is probably inevitable, an inductive approach does seem to be broadly accepted as being more efficient in the long run, at least for some learners. So, dear student, I think you have learned some information about teaching grammar in inductive and deductive way. Thank you for your participation, for your attention. Goodbye.